So today I'm just gonna read you a quote that I've saved down, and I read it almost once every few days in the morning to give myself a bit of motivation. So this is by Lane Norton. He's a professional bodybuilder. He basically posts some good shit from time to time on his Facebook, and this is what he said.
I have come to find in my 31 years on this earth that most people are sheep. They crave someone telling them what to do. They want the path of least resistance. They claim to want greatness, but they lie. Greatness would require risk. Risk would require stepping away from the herd. Stepping away from the herd ensures that the herd will isolate them. Tell them it can't be done. Tell them they are stupid for trying. You see, the herd not only desires someone to lead them blindly, but they also desire for no one to walk their own path, as this would make them feel insecure about themselves. If you want to be part of the herd, if you want to be part of a sheep, that is fine. But don't claim to have the heart of a wolf, a lion. Don't claim to seek greatness, when all you really want is someone to tell you what to do. If you really want to be great, then put your balls on the line and go for it. But don't sit amongst the herd and snivel about how this wasn't the life you planned for, and how great you wanted to become when all you've done your whole life is to take the path of least resistance and follow the herd. You either will take the risk, think for yourself, and go for it, or you will become a sheep. The choice is yours. The path of least resistance is always leading to the land of mediocrity. Do not fear failure. Fear average.
And I thought this was a great quote, so I'm posting it here for more motivation. Hey, so today is another day of NoFap, and what I did today is I went to the church, and it's my first time going to church, and I went there, and I felt kind of out of place. I was with a friend still. He introduced me to people, but I felt kind of out of place because I don't know how to act socially around other people that I would meet, because unfortunately, I'm kind of judgmental. And so when I meet people at the church, I think that, hey, they must be like conservative people that I've always heard about, like church girls, how they like believe in this and that and stuff. And I used to always kind of find religion kind of like perhaps for weaker people, because they can't find that guidance within themselves, so they have to rely on, say, a superficial entity like God or Jesus or something. But I actually get why people like going to church, and I think it's great because you have a sense of community. You meet people who are more bound to be nice. They probably won't trick you, and everyone's just there for good intentions, and I think that's great. Like there's a lot of stories you can learn through the sermons and preachings. I think that's what they call it. And from my super objective point of view, it brings forth a few good values in people, like expressing gratitude or being more humble. These are things that are best portrayed through stories, which is what the Bible has a lot of. Whereas if you read like self-help books where it just tells you to be nice to people, it's kind of hard. Like, be interested in people. It's kind of hard to illustrate that point without using like fiction. So I think like going to the church is fine and all, but I felt socially awkward when I had to talk to those people because I didn't know how to act, and it was like a group situation, and it was in like early in the morning, and I had no idea how I should be talking to people, and that's quite sad. It's almost kind of funny. Like, I should be thinking of it as funny, but I just didn't know how to talk to people. Like, I'm so used to talking to one person at a time. Whereas I have to talk to like 3 or 4 people at a time that I don't know, then what do I say, right? Do I just stop talking about myself? I don't know. Like, why do you come to church? I don't know. Whatever. But I think it's not granted that once you do NoFap, you'll be like socially non-awkward. Because I've read lots of field reports. I mean, like findings from other NoFap-fapstronauts, that like after doing NoFap for a while, their social anxiety goes down because there's a link to it. There's a new link to it, but studies show that the because something to do with the dopamine, but your social anxiety and depression tends to decrease. Good thing, right? Good thing. As you do know, Fab. But today's kind of got that social anxiety back. I just think there's just many social situations that not even like non-anxious people can really be comfortable with. Maybe they can force themselves to act social, but maybe they're not that comfortable. And this was, I don't know, perhaps one of them. Like, it just made me realize that I felt a bit out of place. But thinking back, when am I not feeling out of place? I feel out of place in many places. So it's something I have to work on. So as for whether I'll go back to the church, I hope this applies to some people out there too that are hoping to improve themselves and really meet new people. And I think church is a really great place to do so. I'm probably going to go to Toastmasters this week as well to check it out. But I think there's pros and cons, and this is strictly my own opinion. If you disagree, if you hate me, in my opinion, then feel free to leave a comment. But the pro is that you get to go to a place where you get to interact with people, and there's that hidden intention. The intention is already laid out. It's church. You're all just looking to mingle nicely, getting to know new people. Whereas if you just struck up like a random conversation with some stranger, like you might think, "What the fuck are you doing?" That kind of thing, right? Not everyone is open to that. But at these kind of places, then it's okay to, right? That's a pro, and you get to talk to like more than just one person. You get to meet quite a few people of different walks of life, right?